Hey guys, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 reasons why, if you're in the market for an RV, right now, could be the absolute best time we've seen in a long time. Number 4, by the way, you're going to absolutely love, so make sure you stick with me the whole time. I'm Dr. Dave, the RV Dummy. Let's get right into it. 4 reasons why right now is perhaps the best time for you to buy an RV. The most obvious, let's just get that over with first. Number 1 is because of fuel prices. Fuel has gone up. It's pretty much doubled within the past year or so. So if you got into RVing a little while ago and you were expecting your trips to be a certain amount of money for fuel, well, guess what? Double that right now, if not more. It's ridiculous, it's crazy, but it's also expensive and unaffordable for a lot of people that got into RVing that just wanted to do some simple things. So there's going to be a glut of RVs on the market because people are just very, very frustrated with fuel, and they'll take to driving their cars or they'll take airplanes or whatever. But RVs definitely can eat up a lot of gas, and people just are not into that right now. They want to get rid of them. So that's number 1. The second reason is campgrounds. Campgrounds are more expensive now than ever. They fill up faster. They're more crowded. It's kind of a mess out there. So unless you're doing some like boondocking, things like hip camps and harvest hosts and things like that, you're going to be at the mercy of campgrounds that are just inflating their prices, harder to get into, and not only that, not as peaceful as they used to be. So people, because of this, people are going to be selling their RVs. They're just getting frustrated and they don't really want this type of lifestyle, so they're putting their RVs on the market. Now's the time to capitalize on these, because it comes down to supply and demand. And when there's a glut of RVs on the market, what's going to happen to the prices? Well, you guessed that right. They're going to go down, down, down. Number 3, repairs. Okay, let's talk about repairs for a second. Repairs are not, because of inflation and supply chain issues, it's harder to get parts, it's harder to get appointments. Repair costs for RVs are skyrocketing. They're super expensive now. If you can even get into the repair shop. So again, a lot of people are getting frustrated with that. They need repair work done on their RVs. They can't do it themselves. And it's a matter of waiting a long time and paying exorbitant prices. They would just rather sell and get out. So again, more RVs on the market, lower the prices. Take advantage right now. And number 4, the one you've been waiting for. This is the best one. It's kind of my favorite, and it's just probably the absolute biggest reason there is going to be a glut of RVs on the market right now, starting right now and through this entire season as I see it. And that's what I've made up this term. I don't know if anybody else has used it at all yet, but I'm calling them COVID campers. So as you know, there were so many people, families, husband and wives, people that got into camping at the beginning of COVID because it was very difficult to travel. Otherwise, they couldn't get on planes to visit friends and family. They couldn't even visit friends and family. That was very difficult. So everybody had this idea that I'm going to get an RV. I'm going to travel around. It's going to be safe. I'm going to have my own bathroom, my own kitchen. I'm going to be able to sleep in my own bed. I won't have to catch COVID. And so everybody had this idea. Now, 2 years later, they are disenchanted. They didn't know what went along with RVing, the expenses, all the driving, the repairs, the lifestyle was not for them. And, some of these people would just rather pull up to a hotel and sleep in a comfortable bed and pay somebody else to make up their bed and pay for food, as opposed to driving, maintaining, sleeping, breaking down camp, setting up camp. It's not for everybody. And again, people that got into this and people that jumped onto the bandwagon because everybody was talking about camping and RVing at the beginning of COVID. So again, this slew of COVID campers got into the market, bought these rigs for a lot of money, and now they're left with, they just want to get out. They want to get out. They don't love the lifestyle. They're disenchanted. They don't know what they're getting into, and they need to sell. And guess what? There's going to be RVs on the market that are going for, in my estimation, they're going to be, and again, this is just from my experience, but they're going to be about 20% less than they had been over the past year or more. You're going to be able to score some good deals. You've got to be patient. You've got to wait for that person to put an ad on classified, online, Craigslist, whatever it might be, on RVtrader.com or any of those sites. You got to wait for the right one. You've got to wait for the one that is willing to sell and just wants to get out and doesn't have the time or money to wait around to get the top price. There are going to be a lot of these. Swoop in, get it at a good price, and then enjoy your camping. We got a lot to talk about this season. We've got some great stuff. It's kind of the first season in a couple years that we're pretty much, I think, at least as I'm recording this, pretty much out of the woods with COVID. So we just don't have the constraints with COVID that we had over the past 2 seasons. We're ready to get out there, have some fun, do it, and you can do it in a less expensive RV at this point. So I hope this helps you. Make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Got a lot of really good things coming at you this season. In the meantime, I'm Dr. Dave, the RV Dummy. I will see you really soon.